So, Padme, fucking Natasha Portman, Natalie Portman. We're going to get this shit together. Natalie Portman in talks to return as Padme Amidala for Ahsoka Season 2. Okay, let's get into this and then I'll give you my thoughts. Natalie Portman's Queen Padme Amidala played a vital role in Star Wars prequel trilogy, but didn't live to witness the events of The New Hope after passing away while giving birth to twins Luke and Leia at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, one of the most memed on aspects of the prequels, just being honest with you, she died of sadness. It's pretty fucking lame. Padme's death is what ultimately pushed Anakin Skywalker to fully abandon the path of the Jedi and allow him to be consumed by the dark side of the Force. The Disney Plus Star Wars shows have allowed us to revisit earlier timelines in a galaxy far, far away. And though we have seen both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen reprise their respective roles as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin / Darth Vader, Padme has yet to make an appearance. She has showed up in the Clone Wars animated series and several Star Wars novels, but we haven't seen her in live action since Revenge of the Sith. Honestly, the character wasn't really required for the story of Obi-Wan series telling, and it's difficult to imagine a new spin-off prequel focusing on Padme. Yeah, of course. Even so, Portman has often said she would be open to reprising the role, and we're now hearing that she's actually in talks to return. After previously reporting that Ewan McGregor, Christian, and Ariana Greenblatt, who played the young Ahsoka in Season 1, are set to return in the second season of Ahsoka, Christian Harloff believes that Portman is also close to reaching a deal to reprise her role as the former ruler of Naboo. How Amidala would factor into the story obviously remains to be seen, but there's speculation that she could appear via the World Between Worlds, the realm where Ahsoka encountered her old Jedi Master, Anakin Skywalker, in the first season. She could be featured in a more conventional flashback, of course. Production on Ahsoka Season 2 is scheduled to get underway later this year. The cast of members, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so according to Christian Harloff, and I think it's important to really hone in on what Christian is saying, he is reporting that she is in talks. And if you watch what he said yesterday on the on his show, he said that Dave Filoni is really pushing for this. So Dave's really pushing for this. He really wants to get Padme into Ahsoka Season 2. Now, I should also mention that I saw big screen leaks and some other scoopers out there kind of throwing a little shade at Christian, saying that this was not true, saying that Portman's not going to be in the show. Okay? Now, let's just stop there for a second. So what's really going on here? Well, I will tell you that I believe Christian. I mean, I don't have any reason to not believe Christian. It's not like Christian has done a full career of breaking scoops and then he's got a bunch of shit wrong and we're all like, I don't know, bro. Like, when Christian says something like this, he's usually spot on. Now, clearly, he has been getting a lot of information about Ahsoka Season 2, okay? Because he's had a lot of different reports on it. I think I know... I don't know where he's getting the information for, but I trust the information, and I think that Christian is a dude that is connected. He's a connected guy. He's got a lot of, different sources, connections, people he's worked with throughout the years. He's interviewed Filoni. He's interviewed a lot of these different Star Wars people, right? So it's not so crazy to think that Christian could be getting information about Ahsoka Season 2, okay? So when the scoopers come out and say, oh, this isn't true, she's not in it, what does that mean? Does that mean she's not in it for now? Does that mean definitively that they know she won't actually sign? And Christian, although he is accurate in saying that Dave wants it, in that there are talks happening, these other scoopers are just saying she's not going to be in it. These are the moments, guys. These are the moments that I kind of put into the back of my mind, and I remember these moments often. Whenever there's conflicting reports, I try to remember them and then remember what actually happens, and then I try to understand where people got their information wrong. All of the people involved in the story that I'm talking about have been accurate in the past. And so as far as like what's actually going on, I couldn't really tell you. It's possible that she won't be in it, and maybe it's a Natalie Portman thing. Like maybe she wants too much money. Maybe she, has weird issues with the script story, wants a pass on it or something. Who knows for sure? Don't really know. maybe it's Disney. They don't want to pay her the money. Who knows? Okay, but let's now talk about her actually being in the show. And, what could this be? I think the report we just read on comicbook.com is accurate. Like, we're all probably thinking World Between Worlds, something with the cosmic side of the Force. I have seen some fans speculate that she could be the mother. And the reason I think people are speculating this is because there are some rumors that Anakin is going to have a pretty significant role in season 2 of Ahsoka. And if Anakin is truly a more active player, and the plot on Peridia does actually involve them fighting against Abeloth, then sure, I could see Abeloth presenting herself as Padme or sending a vision of Padme to Anakin, who might also be the father. And we have to remember that Abeloth is so powerful in Legends that she basically scares the Celestials off. She scares the ones. So I don't want to get too deep and nerdy, but like the father, the son, and the daughter, they all leave and they go to Mortis because Abeloth is a problem, right? And so we could be getting some absolutely wild cosmic level shit going on with Star Wars. It could, of course, just be a flashback. It could be a clean flashback, right? And to the point of Clone Wars and, Padme being in Clone Wars, there's potential for Padme and Ahsoka to actually have had experiences. They have had experiences in the Clone Wars. Maybe we see some of that in a flashback or via a World Between Worlds vision. Okay? I think this is probably the most accurate thing to say. It really seems like Dave Filoni is swinging for the fences when it comes to Ahsoka Season 2. And Star Wars right now is kind of a mess. Things are divided. The fandom is divided. And even with this Padme news, I saw a lot of people, prominent Star Wars influencers, that were kind of taking the attitude of like, oh, I remember Padme, and basically throwing a little dirt on this idea, saying that Dave is just a nostalgia bait, member berry bait kind of a guy. That speaks more to the divided nature of the fandom. Ultimately, I guess we'll have to see if this will connect or drive interest and excitement within the Star Wars fandom. But I think if you just look at season 1 and you look at what Dave did with Anakin, because, yeah, you can complain about the overall pacing of the show. You could complain about the ending. You could complain about the depiction of Thrawn. There's a lot of stuff that you could complain about and nitpick all the way down. But one thing I think you have to give credit for, if you're being fair, is Dave swung for the fucking fences, dude. He swung for the fences. And for me, as a Star Wars fan, he's the only guy that gets it. And he's able to do two things simultaneously. He's able to honor the past, honor the legacy, and yet drive it forward. Do more interesting things. And, basically the whole idea of Abeloth is fascinating to me because it is like a new flavor of Star Wars. I mean, sure, it's all over Legends and there's like a big, thing that happens there. But for modern Star Wars and for more normie versions of Star Wars, this would be such a wild swing. And so I think Star Wars does need to take this swing. And it's clear to me from this story that Dave is swinging again. And Dave is maybe one of the only guys over there that is truly passionate and motivated to do whatever it takes to blow the fans away. Right? So I don't know if Portman will be in this show. I don't know that it will even connect with fans if she is. But I respect Dave swinging for the fences. Ahsoka is one of the only things I am excited about as a Star Wars fan. And personally, hell yeah, I would love to see Natalie Portman back in the role of Padme in Ahsoka Season 2, even if it's just a flashback. If it gets really crazy, I'm down too. So that's the story out there. I just kind of wanted to clarify it, give you some insight, and kind of give you my take on it. Natalie Portman potentially returning to the role of Padme Amidala in Ahsoka Season 2. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Is it a good idea? Let me know.